Have you ever watched a movie, TV series, or maybe read a book that kept lingering in your mind long after it was over? The kind that tells you a story that either feels like it knows you on a deeper and more personal level, or one that leaves you with profound insight and a shift in perspective. Video games can also have this effect, and I would argue that the experience can be much more impactful through a video game because of the immersion of being in control of the protagonist and more directly taking part in the story. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 had this effect on me, and because of its potential to affect so many people in a positive way, it is, in my opinion, the greatest game ever made. In this video, I'll try to further explain why.
If you're gonna give someone flowers, you should probably do it before they wither and die.
What, the flower? Or Sophie?
Ooh, dark. Sophie would approve.
The game has one of the most insightful and soul-piercing stories ever told. Combined with an amazing soundtrack, beautiful artwork, fantastic acting performances, and relatable characters, you have the masterpiece that is Clair Obscur. The premise seems fairly simple on the surface. Every year, the paintress paints a number on the monolith, and everyone of that age die. For 67 years, the people of Lumière have embarked on an expedition to try to stop the cycle of death. Heroes on a journey to defeat the dragon, a tale as old as time. But Clair Obscur has a way of constantly subverting your expectations. When you think you've got something figured out, you're only left with more questions. The gameplay and combat system is very fun and satisfying once you get the hang of how to parry and combine the right pictos and lumina to synergize your party members. Trying to find every picto along the way, not knowing what hidden power might lie behind the next one, becomes a game in itself. I see a lot of people who might have an aversion to turn-based combat. I was even a bit skeptical myself, but I remembered how much fun I had with Baldur's Gate 3. Clair Obscur looked like it had something going for it with the action prompts during combat. In a way, it almost makes it feel like the combat is not turn-based. What will draw you in, though, is the story. It's the main reason why everyone should play this game. Clair Obscur is a roller coaster ride of emotions like nothing you've ever experienced before.
Some of you are leaving to change the world. Others to discover the secrets of our universe. Some to protect loved ones. Others to find meaning in our all too short lives.
And the game knows when to keep its secrets and when to reveal them. I don't think I've heard a better soundtrack in a video game. At least not since Nier Automata. You feel it immediately that this is something special. And it only gets better as you progress through the game. Right from the first line, you're hit with dialogue touching on topics of existentialism, the meaning of life, lost love, and purpose.
You know, I'm sorry that... I
You
miss
don't
you
need to... Okay.
You go.
You.
You know how I feel. I wish things had been... You know, I often think... Another path, you know, another future.
Still can't finish your sentences, can you?
Yep, that hasn't changed.
missed that.
Clair Obscur has one of the hardest hitting openers I've ever seen in any game.
I'm here.
I know. I know.
It has a subtle approach with a depth that keeps coming back to you long after progressing further into the story. This is the type of game where you want to take your time and finish every conversation with the people you meet.
Sophie,
Marie,
your flowers. I didn't know about. I thought you were younger. And yet you didn't have children.
I'm not having this conversation with you again. Not today.
Do you care so little about the future of Lumiere? How can you be so selfish?
I'm not selfish enough to bring others into our doomed world.
Gorgeous as always.
Clair Obscur deserves your full attention and every line of dialogue read and reflected on.
Per usual. You see, I'm preparing the headline for tomorrow, and who could write it better than someone who celebrates her special day today?
True. The pale sun ascends above the crimson blossoms.
A headline about the contrast of beauty and death.
Why does Manon keep saying, death comes to us all?
You haven't heard that before?
I mean, would you read a book only to skip a couple of pages ahead every now and then?
You never heard Lucy?
It doesn't make sense.
It's one of his favorites.
I think he prefers, we're already dead, you're just catching up.
Yeah, I heard that one recently.
I don't know. Kinda nice in a way. Having a deadline forces you to prioritize. It's a bit freeing as we get closer to the end.
You can really find the silver lining in everything, can't you?
The story is well balanced, with comedic relief and a lot of interesting characters.
Are you Francois? He's just a talking rock.
Wait, I thought Florrie was the rock.
A rock? I am not a rock. Do you have rocks for eyes? You certainly have rocks for brains. I am clearly a turtle.
Is that a gestural?
Stop that, you big hairy brush face. Can't you see that?
Nothing feels forced or immersion breaking. On the contrary, everything strange feels like it belongs. And every step of the way, you just want more.
So the tales are true. Perhaps the grandest in the Esquier exist too.
This game is the epitome of why we tell stories.
You know, that's the insidious thing about the gommage. It's predictable, almost gentle. It makes Lumiere complacent and accepting, but the gommage is equally violent than death. Death is just as final.
The level design has a mix between open and linear environments. The game world highly encouraging
Interesting.
exploration. You will always be rewarded in ways that makes it worth heading off from the beaten path. The overworld map is gorgeous and really fun to explore. You will need to gather upgrade materials, weapons, and consumables to stay on top in enemy encounters. And you can get unique items, abilities, and cutscenes from the many secret and optional encounters if you want to get the most out of the game.
Perfect.
By making this video and going through some of my perspectives on the evolution of storytelling, video games, and the meaning of life, I hope to make more people understand the importance of video games as something much greater than a simple vice or a guilty pleasure. I hope more people will be able to understand the importance of stories and the amazing poetry masked behind the beautiful game that is Clair Obscur.
I envy them, those who can't see, those who know not that they are not, and those who live, blithe and free, sins forgotten, and thus absolved, a fresh dawn in their playground, while we live in shadows, swimming in ink. We are but a fragile dream, a singular weed, resisting, ever resisting that iron dirt, that eternal law. Those who can't see, those who know not that they are not. Do you know? We are fellows, those who know not that they are not.
While making this video, I started thinking about where storytelling originated, which brought me to the question of when did we learn to write? Which brought me to the question of when did we learn to speak? Why do we tell stories? How do stories affect us? At more than 300,000 years old, Homo heidelbergensis is the earliest documented ancestor of modern man, with their similarly developed hyoid bone to what modern humans have. They probably couldn't produce the sounds of our vowels, but they were an important next step in the evolution of speech and language. It's impossible to say for certain, but the ability to produce speech has probably existed for more than 60,000 years. And the earliest documented evidence of storytelling is found in the 36,000-year-old cave paintings of the Chauvet Cave in France. 4,000 years ago, the Epic of Gilgamesh were written on stone tablets, serving as a foundational work in religion and future hero sagas. For at least tens of thousands of years, we have shared stories with each other. Throughout ancient history, the Middle Ages, up to modern times, we have shared stories of both knowledge and entertainment. In the ancient Egyptian teachings, the maxims of Ptahhotep, among several other things, the following is written. If he who listens fully, then he who listens becomes he who understands. Stories have always been a way to pass down knowledge to the next generation, the young and the inexperienced. Sharing stories is one way to learn, to understand, and empathize with other people and the world around us. Fast forward to the year 1450, when Johannes Gutenberg invented and introduced the printing press and made it a lot easier to publish books, which made it easier to share knowledge and to both criticize and educate ourselves on topics such as science, religion, medicine, and literature. At the present time, we've had an endless supply of books, movies, and video games for a relatively long time, but still, some things never seem to change. In 1796, a novel called The Sylph was published. In it, an interesting observation and complaint about books was made. Women of every age, of every condition, contract and retain a taste for novels. The depravity is universal. My sight is everywhere offended by these foolish yet dangerous books. And today, video games have been the target of the same exact criticism for the last 40 plus years. Video games are the new books, and they have been for quite some time. Playing video games is, in my opinion, the best way to experience a story. We need to embrace the fact that the immersion of video games also makes them the ultimate way to tell stories.
Watch the sun rise without the shadow of her cursed figure. May the wind of renewal take you to the ends of the earth.
Clair Obscur starts off with the story about Expedition 33, but slowly reveals that there is more behind the curtain than we are first led to believe. The Descendre family, consisting of Aline, Renoir, and their children Clea, Verso, and Alicia, are a family of painters with the ability to paint whole new worlds inside canvases. Clea even mentioned Aline as being the head of the Painters' Council.
She's a grown woman, and she was the head of the Painters' Council. She failed her responsibilities. I don't have time to coddle her.
Many years ago, as a young boy, Verso painted a world of magic and wonder. He and his older sister Clea enjoyed painting and giving life to their imaginations. And this was how his canvas world and the city of Lumiere came to be. His favorite stuffed toy became the legendary creature Esquier.
Bonjour, mes amis.
Hey, bonjour mon ami. Ciel? What? I don't know. He seems nice.
Oh, it's you. Hello again, my terrible swimmer friend.
His dogs became the Gestrels, with their playful and childish demeanor.
If Minoko's not here, that means... slow as ever. Mon Dieu.
Your reflexes remain sharp as ever. I approve. Esquier, did Verso pull you into another adventure? New friends.
Speak our language.
He had a lot of time to kill, so I taught him.
Ladies, could I interest you in a duel?
Definitely a gestural.
And the grandest, ever wise, were modeled after grown-ups. To Verso, this painted world was as real as the world outside. Outside the painting, there's a war going on between writers and painters.
The writers used you against us once before. They won't hesitate to use you again.
Alicia somehow got involved with the writers, which led to the fatal events we slowly unravel as we progress through the story. On the 33rd of December, 1905, a fire breaks out at the Descendre family's mansion.
You're okay.
Verso manages to save Alicia at the cost of his own life. Alicia is burnt and horrifically scarred by the fire and no longer able to speak. The death of Verso leaves his mother devastated in a bottomless state of sorrow, inconsolable and consumed by grief. All that's left of Verso is the part of his soul that's still inside his canvas. The one where he painted Monaco, Esquier, and his gestuals. And this is where Aline now chooses to live.
Hi.
His little grin. So proud of his latest creation. But at least those memories remain. What hurts more are the memories unmade. The conversations we'll never have. The time we'll never spend. I want rage to consume me. Anything to fill the hollow. But rage won't come. And I just float in an endless nothingness. The person I cannot be around is Alicia. Her pain is a broken mirror. The shards reflecting back tenfold, and every moment with her the cuts deepen and I feel myself unraveling. I know what he'll say.
She taught me how to safely use our gift. How to soar without flying too close to the sun. We painted hundreds of canvas worlds, pushing the very boundaries of creation. And she never let me forget that every day we spent here has a price.
But this is the first time I've felt any surcease. For a few moments a day, my heart beats again.
She repaints her family inside Verso's canvas so that they can all be together again, leaving the real Renoir, Clair, and Alicia alone in their grief outside the painting. Aline still blames Alicia for Verso's death and repaints her with her scars.
She blames us, doesn't she? You didn't deserve that.
Grief and sorrow can take on many faces, but true sorrow is faceless, hidden behind masks. True sorrow is perpetual. It envelops you like a shroud, and it becomes you. People might think they know what sorrow looks like from the outside, but the face of sorrow is deceiving. You can never truly know what sorrow is until you experience it yourself. You may at times see glimpses through people's masks, but someone else's sorrow will always be unfathomable. Sorrow is also a lot more complex than sadness, but from an outside perspective, it can sometimes be indistinguishable. People have some level of sympathy or empathy, or even for selfish reasons, might want to save someone from this perceived sadness, without realizing that sadness is not sorrow, and that sorrow is not necessarily something that needs saving.
His intentions are good, I know, but his methods...
Your father?
I'm the youngest, which makes everything worse.
Oh, I understand that.
If you ever lost someone, any kind of loss, you will understand this. Sorrow is both a gift and a curse. Sorrow is a sign of love.
I guess Death and I, we've walked a long road together.
What does that mean?
Death is a friend who will welcome me home.
The sorrow that comes with loss, and the sorrow that comes with the realization that our reality as a construct can be just as impactful.
Please. I don't want this life.
Stop saying that.
I don't want this life. I don't want this life.
I just wanted to live this lifetime together. This lifetime that was stolen from us. Please. Bro. Please.
I don't want this life.
But sorrow can be a rock and a point of reference.
Losing a rock is better than never having a rock.
And why escape from it when it can instead be utilized as a foundation for growth and a new purpose?
It's hard.
The pain we feel every time we lose someone. I've tried many ways of dealing with it. Running from it, sitting with it, compartmentalizing it. But what I needed was to use it. To use everything.
What do you mean?
I feel everything. And I let it burn inside me. When I'm tired, when I feel hopeless, when I want to just let it all go. I use the pain. I use the fear, the shame, the guilt, the anger. I use it all to keep going. To make sure I continue.
Monet.
I can almost feel them beside me. Everyone we've lost. Walking with me.
We don't know how long Aline's been inside the canvas. Only that time moves significantly slower inside, and that it's been 67 years in canvas time since Renoir entered to attempt to pull her out, which resulted in the fracture that split the continent, forcing the two into a stalemate.
Destroying the canvas won't help us move on. It'll just deny us the one place that helped us feel again.
67 years. 67 years I spent trapped within the monolith.
After 51 canvas years, Alicia enters the canvas to try to help stop Verso's soul from painting, and in so doing pull her mother and father out of the painted world and back into the real world. But as she enters the painting, she's enveloped by Aline's chroma, painted over, and reborn in the canvas as Mael.
See? That wasn't so hard. Wait, that's Aline's chroma. Stay calm. Don't let it take control of you. Calm, Alicia, or it'll paint over you. What an auspicious start. Well, you're about to be reborn in this world as one of Aline's creations. Have fun. At least this will keep you out of trouble until I get back.
She's a girl. She's a girl. She's beautiful. What a lovely voice. My love, did you decide on a name?
Yes. Oh, my darling girl. We have precious little time together. You'll never know us. But I want you to know that you are loved. I want you to know you're not alone. You will always be the beautiful child I held in my arms. You will smile the brightest smile. You will cry iridescent tears. You will know love, and you will know pain. You will know loss all too well, because we live in an unforgiving world. But you are strong, and you will survive. You will struggle, and you will learn. You'll find people to call your own, and you will shine as their guiding light. For you will change the world, and the people around you. You'll forever be our princess. I have decided on her name. And her name will be Mael.
Unaware of her true identity, Alicia's new life in the canvas as Mael has had its parallels with her struggles outside. Her painted Lumiere parents died to the Gamage long before she ever knew them, and through her 16 years as Mael, she struggled with feelings of abandonment, loneliness, and not being able to fit in anywhere. Despite eventually being adopted by Gustave and his sister Emma, Mael is never quite able to shake that feeling of not belonging.
I was an unwelcome surprise. They never wanted kids. And they definitely didn't want one right before their Gamage.
That must have sucked. For both you and them.
Yeah, it did. Then they died. And I bounced around from family to family. I can't even remember all of them. I was kind of a weird kid, I guess.
So was I.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I was obsessed with my piano and my paint set.
I was a bit more severe than that. I used to have lots of nightmares and talk to myself. Kept running away from home all the time.
Nah, if that's weird, then we're all weird. Actually, I kind of think everyone's a weird kid in someone's eyes.
Well, I was a weird kid in everyone's eyes.
Even Gustave's.
Kind of. It's why he and his sister took me in. Nobody else wanted me. But I guess Gustave and Emma used to be weird kids too. So they liked me.
See? Everyone's weird.
I think a lot of people will on some level relate to both Alicia and Mael's struggles and that feeling of not belonging, not feeling wanted, and how their pain and sorrow has them both looking for a way to make up for what's missing, looking for a purpose, and searching for a way to escape. Hidden within the stories of Clair Obscur, if you pay close attention, you will find the answers to these questions of purpose and the meaning of life.
If you could grow old, would you find a reason to smile?
People will resort to anything to try to explain the unexplainable. But the fact of the matter is that our existence has no inherent meaning or purpose. If you look at the big picture, on the timescale of the universe, our existence is not even a speck of dust on a beach of all sand in the world.
A shrine to the Paintress.
The Paintress destroyed our world, and someone built her a shrine.
The weak-minded turn to whatever they can to explain the unknown.
When you're at the mercy of a power you don't understand, you might try anything.
What are we really but that grey matter inside our skulls that named itself a brain? Are we not just a creature trapped in a cage, pulling the strings of this calcium puppet inside an armor of meat and tissue? What are we but chaos incarnate? And if entropy is the ultimate goal of the universe itself, what's the point? Clair Obscur brilliantly and subtly explains how we ourselves must create our own meaning and purpose. But at the same time, it's not afraid to explore and attempt to understand the importance of choice. One of the reasons Clair Obscur resonates so heavily with so many people is the way in which the narrative succeeds in displaying multiple aspects of grief and sorrow and how we as humans deal with these emotions. Aline and Mael's escapism could easily be labeled as excessive indulgence. But what about the unwavering perseverance of Renoir and Clea and the pain and suffering they cause to so many people with their actions, including the ones they love and claim to be helping?
Losing family is difficult.
I know. I know what you're going to say. You want to offer your condolences. You want to say something comforting. But I don't need it. I've had enough condolences. I've lost so many families now. I just need... Can you please go?
The writers undoubtedly have a deep and personal understanding of the themes of the narrative, and it shines through in all parts of the ever-meaningful dialogue and story throughout the game. Beautifully brought to life by the amazing performances of the voice actors, the musical score, and the artists who designed the world. Have you ever considered that the sole reason someone is still alive is because of the empathy they have for others? Realizing and coming to terms with the fact that our lives are meaningless and that nothing truly matters can be an isolating, self-deprecating, and hopeless experience. But when you're faced with the truth, what do you choose to do with it? Do you give in to sorrow and a final escape? Or can you find a way to be the architect behind your own purpose?
You do that. We both die.
There's something beautiful in looking at life and sorrow through the eyes of Clair Obscur, realizing we too are painters, able to repaint ourselves and to renew our purpose.
People want so badly to know what's behind the mask. Front, back, recto, verso. Great art is both window and mirror. Whether it's your mask or theirs.
Harmless, huh?
He's the real Axon.
Child, we all need masks, but how you use them.
We all need masks, and we will wear them when needed at different points in our lives.
Masks are not just to obscure, they may also illuminate. Look for the masks that you need.
Life, albeit inherently pointless, does not necessarily have to be meaningless. Despite Gustav and Emma's objections, Maëlle joins the expedition.
Just take care of Maëlle, okay? Can't believe you're letting her go with you.
Me? You're her guardian too. You stop her.
We're her guardians, not her jailers. She really wants off this island.
Can she find meaning in an otherwise sorrowful existence?
Hey, why did you join the expedition? I mean, with the Gamage, I understand the rest of the team's decision, but you're half their age.
Out here seemed better than in there at the time.
It's natural. Wanting to escape a life you don't want.
Escape. Yeah. That's what I wanted. But Gustav and the others, they really want to change things.
Well, changing your life also counts. Can't always shoulder the world's problems, you know? It'll drain you fast.
Gustav would probably say, if more of us cared, then it would lighten the load for everyone.
He sounds like a good guy.
Painted Renoir kills Gustav in an attempt to deter the expedition from killing the paintress. And Maëlle is again faced with another loss, solidifying the choices she's yet to make. Gustav was the main protagonist and the hero of the story, but not a stereotypical invincible superhero. Gustav resonates with the player because of how natural and human he is portrayed. His death was unexpected and confusing, but essential in establishing the depth of the parallels between the canvas world and the world outside the canvas. Because of the failed start of the expedition and Gustav's death subverting our expectations, the groundwork was laid for deeper and more personal connections with the rest of the expedition and how this new foundation builds strong relationships.
Couldn't wait for me, could you? I wish we could.
Rest easy, Gustav.
I'll finish what you started. The paintress, Renoir, they will pay.
No more dome. Just open skies.
I'll save them, Gustav. Emma, your apprentices, everyone.
You can leave it to us. You were always there for me.
I'll save them.
Say hi to Soph for me, yeah?
We could never tell if you were my brother or my father. But to me, you were both. Best brother and father I've ever had.
When one falls, we continue.
Thanks for being my family. In the next life.
The remaining members of the expedition adapt and evolve together, getting closer to each other, forming unbreakable bonds through listening to and sharing their own personal stories and their relationships with existence and sorrow. We get to experience their sorrow, how it has affected their lives, and the empathy that they have for each other because of their previous experiences.
You never told me. How do you go from being a farmer to running a school?
What? It's not obvious.
Oh, so obvious.
Pierre used to volunteer at the school, teaching the kids how to sail and survive in the wild. After his death, I was in a bad place. Being at the school, I still felt bad, but at least I could feel his presence. Hear stories about him from the kids. Continue his work.
Makes sense.
I understand why your mother did what she did. She wanted to feel closer to her son. To still feel Verso's presence.
Would you have created a copy of Pierre? If you could. Knowing it wouldn't be the real thing.
If you ask me now, then no. I've seen how this torments you. I wouldn't wish that on others. But if you had asked me back then, I would have done anything to see him again. To hear his voice. To feel his arms around me. Every day, I just felt the lack of him. The negative space he used to inhabit. The dip in the chair where he sat. The hollow of his shoes. The emptiness inside his jacket. You want to know why I dislike water? I tried to drown myself.
What?
When I lost Pierre, I I tried to swim away from Lumiere. I swam for as long as I could, as far as the waves would carry me, until I could no longer swim. But I woke up the next day in Lumiere. On the docks, I was alive, and I have no idea what happened. What I didn't know then, what the hospital told me, was that I was pregnant. But that I had lost the child.
CL.
I desperately want Maëlle to bring everyone back. To bring Pierre back. But I don't know how to tell him. I lost our baby. She would have been 6.
I'm so sorry.
Dark and personal, right?
I've had similar thoughts before. Not of drowning specifically, but, you know, it would solve a lot of problems. For everyone.
So...
It's a choice. Like any other choice.
It is.
It's enlightening to see the portrayal of different perspectives on life and how one's previous experiences can provide context and serve as advice for the people around you.
You mean...
Yes. Him.
In my opinion, the camp conversations and friendship talks are just as important as the main story about the Desandre family. Clair Obscur explores almost every aspect of the human condition. It's a journey of trying to understand sorrow and dealing with reality. It's the combination of all the stories and characters that together weaves this beautiful tapestry of art and emotion.
Enjoying the stars?
Stars are the apples of the sky.
I love the way you see the world.
Oh, that constellation looks like Francois.
Yeah, it's not grumpy enough. It needs to look a bit more cranky.
He's not grumpy. He's just sad. He misses Claire.
Ah.
Enfant used to be all wee, but now he's all ooh.
We?
Yes. We! Back in the day, when there was nothing in the world except the 4 of us flying around on adventures.
Ah, I see. And, woo? How come you're not grumpy like Francois?
I am grumpy.
Oh, are you now?
I too am. But I'm also wee! So the wee balances the.
You might say you're a bit, wee-woo, then.
You really get me, Verso.
I'm a bit, wee-woo myself. Although I'm a bit more woo than wee these days.
The friendship concept is a very good narrative tool and a fantastic way for the player to build an emotional connection to the characters, their stories, and their backgrounds.
Maëlle?
I think what the creators of Clair Obscur really nailed down is the importance of a fleshed out cast of characters in a story.
Gustav?
You almost get a sense that these are real people.
Are you real?
The characters in this game are not mindless set pieces. These are realistic portrayals with realistic problems that are now giving players all over the world meaningful and life-changing experiences.
Papa?
Alicia.
Please, I just want you to understand what this canvas means to me.
I do understand. I know how powerful and intoxicating it is. How deeply attached we can become to the worlds we pour our hearts and souls into. I was enthralled, and it nearly killed me.
Doesn't mean you have to erase Verso's canvas.
Child, do you think I want to? After all the sorrows we've endured, do you really think that I want to destroy this last piece of his soul?
Then don't. Don't.
Life keeps forcing cruel choices. We do what we must.
Grief often blinds us, and we make choices we can never take back.
You grieve for two.
I grieve for many.
The choices of parents leave indelible marks upon their children. But ultimately, the voices in their head have to be their own. You cannot set the boundaries of their life for them.
After the fire, you wanted me to find new joy in life. And I tried. But I couldn't. I couldn't. Verso died because of me. How do I get from that to joy?
Child, it will get better, I promise you. But this is not the way. Your friends speak truth. And it changes nothing. You can hate me. But that's a choice I must make. As your father, I must look out for you. Especially when you can't look out for yourself.
You treat me as if I'm still 5!
I treat you as if the shadow from the worst day of our lives is going to suffocate you and take you from us too!
We all need masks.
For millennia, storytelling has been one of the most important ways to share knowledge and understand the constructs of our world. Video games have taken storytelling to the next level.
This mask can't hurt me. Because it is me.
The immersion is unrivaled, and through that immersion, video games are probably one of the best devices for making a lasting impression. Having overcome every challenge along the way, the expedition manages to defeat the Paintress and send Aline back out of the canvas, putting an end to the cycle of death. Or at least, so they think.
Why?
Rest now. Things will be better soon.
Is this real?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Gustav's watching over us. Hey, come.
When the barrier is broken and the paintress defeated, the expedition heads back to Lumiere to celebrate. But with painted Renoir dead, and Aline now removed from the canvas, no longer able to protect the city, Renoir is free from her shackles, and he gommages all of Lumiere in a final attempt to get his daughter out. Maëlle is gommaged, but now fully awakens as a paintress with all of her memories from her lives as both Alicia and Maëlle.
Alicia.
Actually, I prefer Maëlle.
I think I do too. But I'm not really Versa, and you're not really Maëlle, are you?
And she wants to stay in the painting, to embrace her new life and abilities.
Your father was the one erasing everyone. Why would he help repaint everything?
I hid the canvas before I entered, so Maman can't come back again. There's no need to erase the canvas anymore.
He'll want you to go home.
I'm not at risk like Maman. I haven't been in this canvas that long. Besides, Papa has a soft spot for me. He'll listen. Papa!
Alicia. You're safe. I thought I told you to stay home.
Technically, my body's at home.
Renoir is desperate to have his family back, willing to do anything to see them all back together outside the canvas. He doesn't seem to understand that the people inside the canvas are as real as anyone on the outside.
Apologies. I know it seems absurd to offer oblivion as recompense, but perhaps that's the outcome we both desire.
What?
I'm proud of you. Getting your mother out of the canvas was not easy. Once we erase the canvas, we won't have to worry anymore.
She's home now. Why?
You know your mother. Verso painted this canvas. It contains a piece of his soul. She'll never willingly part with it.
No.
For the sake of the living, we must part with the dead.
No, Papa. See, I hid the canvas.
She will always find it. This is our only opportunity, while she's too sick from her prolonged descent into the canvas to return.
No. Papa. Papa, please. This is Verso's only canvas. You can't destroy the last piece of him that we have. This is my home now. You can't just decide...
Your home? After all that with your mother, you want to stay?
You know how little remains of my life outside.
Alicia, you'll die. You've already been here longer than you should.
But...
No. Look at me, I said no. I am not letting my daughter risk her life. Alicia.
I'm not, Mama. I'm not going to lose myself if I stay.
I know full well you will, and I am not doing this again!
No!
Renoir refuses to accept Mael's perspective. He has lost his son, his wife, and his daughter. His family ripped at the seam with the death of Verso, further torn apart with Aline's escape into the canvas. And now it's repeating itself all over again with his daughter, and he can't let that happen. Why is he so unwilling to see this from his wife and his daughter's perspective? Could a gentler approach from Renoir or Clair have led to a healthier resolution for everyone? Renoir is as much as Aline and Mael blinded by pain and sorrow. Renoir needs to have his family back no matter the cost. He doesn't care about Aline's wish to be in the painted world, because he doesn't view it as real. They don't care that Alicia is disfigured and unable to speak, isolated in her own body, alone, having to live with the blame and the survivor's guilt following Verso's death. Nobody outside seemed to understand the hurt and guilt tearing them apart from inside. They don't see what's behind the mask.
You think you know what's at stake, but you don't.
I know precisely what's at stake. You want control. You want to feel like you're doing something. You couldn't save Verso, so you want to save us. Except you're not. Destroying the canvas won't help us move on. It'll just deny us the one place that helped us feel again.
I cannot spend another day with living corpses. Since the fire, our family has crumbled. Aline in the canvas. Clair fighting a solitary war. You a living ghost. Verso's death broke us. Want it to be fixed. I need it to be fixed. I cannot lose you too.
Don't you see? That's how I feel about them.
I can't lose them either. I've lost too much. Papa, see? I've lost so much.
We both lost so much.
Finally, Renoir succumbs to his daughter's wishes and lets Maëlle stay in the painting.
Keep the light on for you. I hope you find peace. Hold on to each other.
Most players will probably choose a side, and many will stand with Verso's ending, siding with Renoir and discarding the canvas world as imaginary. But I don't think it's that simple. I think there's a balance to escapism that most people probably are unable to see.
Verso, stop! You can't just decide this for everyone!
We're all hypocrites, doing the same thing to each other. You're going to die here. Why don't you just leave? You can always come back.
The moment I leave, Papa will erase this canvas.
This is not worth your life.
What life? My life of loneliness in a shell of a body, with no voice and no future.
You're Maëlle. No matter where you are, you don't need this canvas.
But everything I want is here. Here I have a chance to live, Verso, to live. Out there I merely exist.
But is it fair of Aline and Alicia to escape into the canvas world, repainting themselves in a subjectively better reality without Renoir and Clair? Is it fair of Renoir to relentlessly try to chase them out, to destroy the canvas and the last remnants of Verso? Would the canvas not be the ultimate compromise? A way for Alicia to live a full life as Maëlle without being isolated in her burnt and voiceless vessel of a body. A way for Aline to dampen her pain and to have Verso still be alive. Would you force pain on others to lessen your own suffering?
Alicia, I beg you. Stop him from painting.
Don't say that. Please, don't say that.
Hey, please, listen to me. Only you can do this. You can do this, please. Unpaint me. Unpaint me.
So...
Given the entropy of existence, is our need for escapism really a bad thing? What makes the canvas world less real than our perceived reality? Clair Obscur is the greatest video game ever made. Not just because of a single storyline or gameplay aspect, but because of how well it all connects and shapes the way these stories are told and the profound reflections that follow.
What song was that? I feel like I know it.
Yes, an old song I used to play to my sister.
Can you play another?
strange feeling watching you with my brother, laughing and smiling, without the scars or the memories that afflict me. Alicia, as she was meant to be, not this painted version that I am. My family, a facsimile of yours, and this world, a mirror, painted by your mother, the paintress, to stave off her grief. Seeing your expedition through would plunge us all into the abyss. For in ridding the world of the paintress, you'd lose the sole force standing against the one who would erase us, the one who invokes the flowers of the gommage. An act of love, for he does love her. Your father. On her monolith, she paints a warning for us all, of the few she can save as her power wanes. We all wish for our families to thrive. Your family, however, believes only one can survive. But perhaps you'll find another way. You who have lived amongst us, perhaps you differ from your father and your sister, as I differ from mine. Your mother paints life, whilst your father, death. What will you paint?